Welcome. In less than 5 minutes, we're going to get started. You are early. And you are early because you are like me. You have this drive to build your business, and you're not going to wait for the chance you're not going to wait for the permission to get started. I appreciate that you're here early more than you may know. While you're here, let me talk a little bit about some of the sponsors that made this all possible. Without these sponsors, you and I wouldn't be together right now, and this webinar wouldn't be coming your way. So thank you to Fern Trust, thank you to Curate, thank you to Shop Wild Things, thank you to JetFresh, and thank you to Ball. These companies support Intrigue and support our industry when we need it more than ever. So thank you to each of them. All right, we're about 4 minutes to go. Thank you for being here early. Like I said, you're early because you're like me. This means so much. When I first started thinking about this incredible opportunity to connect with you as a designer and share my inspiration and share the work that I do, how to sell these designs, how to price these designs, I knew I needed help. I knew I couldn't do this on my own during this crazy year, and that is where these sponsors came in. I want to say thank you while you're here with me a few minutes early. This is a time that we can appreciate. This is a time that we can really send a message to these sponsors. Tell them how much we appreciate them. Fern Trust. Fern Trust is my contact for all those wonderful colored greens, those beautiful Smilax designs you see, and these colored Plumosa that I love so much. You can get all this stuff from Fern Trust, and they make it so easy, shipping it directly to you. Then I want to thank Curate, the floral software who has helped my business grow bigger and stronger than I could have imagined, and has supported so many of us. Shop Wild Things. Shop Wild Things has provided to us some incredible pieces that we can suspend from the ceiling, we can build from the ground, and we can create floral installations like never before with their support. And then I want to thank JetFresh. JetFresh has their eye on the ball when it comes to flowers. They know where to get the flowers, how to get them to you, and make sure they're fresh. I'm so happy working with JetFresh and knowing that they have the support of the industry behind them. And finally, I want to thank Ball. This is a name you may not know yet. Ball is at the root of it all. They're at the seed of it all. This company is the breeder of those gorgeous flowers that the farms grow, that the wholesalers buy, that ship to us. And Ball has helped this all come together. So thank you, thank you. We have less than 2 minutes to go. I appreciate that you're here early, you're ready, and you're driven for your business. When I started building this, I knew I wanted to talk in detail about how to find these clients and how to price this, because we want to build our businesses bigger and stronger. We want to connect to our clients in a way like we never have before. You know, this has been a tough year for all of us. It has been so tough that we need to stick together. So over the course of the next few minutes, I want your attention because I'm sharing something with you that is truly game-changing. All right, we are down to the wire. I appreciate you are here on time and you are ready to go. We are going to get started in less than 1 minute. We are going to talk about how to price those big, beautiful floral installations. We are going to talk about how to sell those big floral installations. And most importantly, we are going to talk about how to find those clients. You know, those clients that want these incredible designs, the designs that not only you're dreaming about, but they're dreaming of having for their wedding or of course, that socially distanced gathering that has become the go-to for events right now. All right, it's time. Let's jump into it. We have one final thank you to our sponsors. And if you could reach out to these sponsors after this webinar and say thank you to them. Say thank you to Shop Wild Things, thank you to Curate, thank you to Ball, thank you to Fern Trust, and thank you to JetFresh. Without these companies right here, we would not be together. They are supporting the industry in a time when we need it more than ever before. So thank you so much. All right, our focus today is the Big Flower Sales Plan. How to sell big, beautiful floral installations to build your following and build your business. Because these things, my friend, they go hand in hand. Over the course of my career, Intrigue's work has been featured everywhere from magazines and news articles to television with CBS, NBC, Fox, and most recently streaming on Netflix in The Big Flower Fight. It has been incredible to see the work that we've done inspire so many and create a business that we can not only support our family, but create an impact within the industry. I'm so grateful for each and every one of these platforms for giving me a voice and helping to support me as I grow within the floral industry. Today I'm teaching how to sell those large-scale installations. And for those of you who are driven and focused on your business and really want to get into these large-scale installations, I've got a bonus for you at the end, and it's only for those of you who really can turn off the distractions and focus as I'm teaching these elements that I've had success with in selling these large-scale installations. So hang tight. Again, turn off your distractions, grab your notebook, and stay with me all the way through the end to get that bonus. Let's run through what we're going to be focusing on today. First, we're going to talk about simple strategies, a simple strategy to incorporate installations into micro weddings. These weddings are more than a trend. They are here to stay. And with this technique that I'm going to be sharing, all of your weddings are going to be begging you to design these jaw-dropping floral installations instead of you having to beg them and convince them that they want to buy these. Did you just pause for a moment? Are you thinking, that sounds great, Sarah, but I don't have clients with big budgets like you do? I have heard this over and over again. If that is what you were thinking, then there is a reason that you are here with me right now. Not only for what I'm going to teach you during this webinar, but also for the bonuses at the end. This is a time where we need that career-changing information, that thought-changing information. And what I'm sharing with you is career-changing. I'm going to share with you techniques to excite your client about the designs you are dreaming of. Excited clients pretty much sell themselves. So if you don't like the sales process and you want to jump right into the fun of the design, this bit right here, this might be your favorite part of the entire session. I'm going to give you my #1 way to attract clients that want these large-scale designs. It is so much more natural to sell when the client is already interested. These techniques will make your entire sales process so much easier. Did you just pause again and you're thinking, I don't have enough followers to get attention like you do, Sarah? Well, if that is what you were thinking, you were absolutely meant to be here right now. I'm even more excited that you're here. Make sure you have that notebook in hand, you're taking notes, your distractions are off, and you're staying with me. Because again, this is game-changing stuff. This is business changing. I am going to be sharing my proven methods to build focused installation, floral installation focused social media attention. Floral installations put me on the map with social media. After this session, you will have my methods so that you can use these methods to grow your own social media attention. That will instantly increase your following, increase your engagement, and start setting you up for success. Remember, You have to be able to sell before you can design. So first in this webinar, we're talking about the sales and the attraction of the clients, and I'm going to talk to you about estimating in a moment. But I really want you to remember that this is just the lead up. At the end, we'll talk about learning how to design and how to make sure we can actually execute all of these designs. So stay through with me. Make sure you've got that notebook like I talked about so many times already. Focus on these sales elements, and then we'll talk design when it comes to our bonuses. Pricing is a big part of the sales process, so I'm going to give you my very quick and accurate tools for how I do my estimates. This way you can see what the pricing is, how to very quickly give your client an accurate price to make sure that you don't lose a client based on the fact that you overbid the job, and you don't take on a job that you're not going to make any money because you underpriced it. This is a foolproof method that I always make money and always make my clients happy. You are going to be with me for the next 40 minutes. So I want to encourage you to put your phone in silent, turn off the distractions, go into a quiet place so that you can focus on the information that I'm about to share with you. This information is gold and is going to help you start selling these large-scale installations this week. But first, before I really get started, I want to give you a bit of a backstory. I want to share with you a little bit more about myself so that you can understand the methods and the strategies I use a bit more clear. Dreams are what a successful floral design business is built on. The dreams of entrepreneurs paired with the dreams of clients. Before millions saw my face on Netflix, I dreamed. Before my business blossomed with large-scale designs and a lengthy list of big-budget clients, I dreamed. Before my designs became so widely recognized on Instagram and Facebook to an audience of over 100,000, I dreamed. Long before I led a floral community of over 8,000 designers, I dreamed. And before I built my business to 6 figures, I dreamed. I knew I could achieve what the rest of the world seemed to tell me was impossible. As I planned for success, I was told by both friends and family that I was living in a fantasy and that these dreams were not attainable. I continued to move forward, silencing these dismissive voices because I knew the difference between a dream and a fantasy. Do you know? Do you know the difference between a dream and a fantasy? As a little girl, my brothers, Brad and Josh, often tease me about living in a fantasy world. Actually, they still tease me. Being the youngest, the only girl, and a girly girl at that, I had plenty of time to myself. While the boys were off fishing, building tree houses, and designing Frankenbikes. It's a real thing. I can totally show you guys pictures. Frankenbikes were a big part of my childhood. During this time, I would wander the property, picking flowers, creating pretty spaces in the shade of the overgrown tree line, and I dreamt up new worlds full of fantastic creatures with elaborate backstories. These childhood fantasies were training me to be a lifelong dreamer. They were training me to create something out of nothing. As I got older, there was a point that I wanted to bring these childhood fantasies to life. I wanted to live a magical life. As I became an adult, I did adjust my idea of what a magical life was. I no longer dreamed of being a mermaid or flying across the sky with my sparkly Pegasus. As an adult, my dreams of a magical life were filled with beautiful ball gowns, flowers popping up in unexpected places, friends that would burst into song at any given opportunity, waking up to birds chirping, smiling for absolutely no reason, and occasionally fighting off a villain or two with my superpowers of a positive attitude and rosy cheeks. Yes, indeed, I am a dreamer. These dreams are my real life, and they were never fantasies. You see, there's a difference. There is a distinct difference between a dream and a fantasy. So again, I ask you, do you know the difference between a fantasy and a dream? I thought it'd be helpful to pull the actual definitions. Fantasies: the activity of imagining things, especially things that are impossible or improbable. Dreams: aspirations, ambitions, or ideals. The difference is all in the hustle. No matter what you do, you cannot turn a fantasy into a reality. It's not real. You can most certainly turn a dream into a reality with focus and a whole lot of that hustle. You see, dreams are aspirations, ambitions, and ideals. These dreams are chosen by you and worked for by you. So that's the difference between a fantasy and a dream. It is okay that others do not understand your dreams. If they think you live in a fantasy world, that is only because they think you are fantasizing, when indeed you are dreaming. The ability to bring your dreams to life is a skill that everyone has access to. And like any skill, the more you practice, the better you get. With each dream that becomes reality, your skill becomes stronger and your ability to dream bigger is enhanced. So my encouragement to you today is to stop fantasizing and start dreaming. Now is the time to put a plan in motion to bring your floral dreams to life. I'm going to share with you the techniques I have used personally to connect with the clients that shared my dreams of large-scale weddings and over-the-top floral installations. Given that you're here with me today, chances are that you've already taken the Finding and Selling Luxury course. That has hands down been my best-selling course, giving the best results. This training that I'm giving today, it is ideal when used with the strategies that you've already learned. The Finding and Selling Luxury course, it walked you through my step-by-step marketing strategy to not only find those high-end clients, those clients you're dreaming of, but also how to present design proposals that seal the deal. So as you're going through and you're listening to what I have to teach today, think back on what you've learned during that course. And if you haven't taken that course yet, you can always do that down the road and pair the two together. Each of the information in this webinar and that course are phenomenal. And together you have that perfect storm of success. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you haven't taken this course or you haven't seen this course, we will be offering this again, more than likely in the spring. You can sign up to be on the wait list to get information when we are going to launch this again. We've got some adjustments and changes to really fine tune it and make it even better for the season that we're in. So you're going to go to howtobookluxuryweddings.com if you want to make sure you're on that waiting list. Again, that is howtobookluxuryweddings.com. Actually, wait, there's one more thing I want to address before we even start with our strategies. I want to discuss the biggest hurdle that many of us face, and that's confidence. I hear over and over again from designers that are afraid to take on large-scale floral installations. I've even heard from designers that redirect clients to smaller designs simply because they don't know how to create the designs their clients are dreaming of. Oh my gosh, I even remember feeling like this in my early years. This fear held me back, and if it's holding you back, I want to share with you my strategy that I have used and I still use to overcome that underlying lack of confidence. My strategy was inspired by the phrase, "fake it till you make it." I say it was inspired by this phrase because I don't fake anything. When a client asks for a design I have never made before, I sell that design with confidence because I have a plan to learn the design before the date of the event. Remember, the difference between a dream and a fantasy is the hustle, and in this case, the hustle presents itself as a plan. Fantasies are fake, and I don't like being fake. Instead, I want to have a plan. My revised phrase is, plan it till you make it. In years In the years past, my plan was to research and test, and I spent hours learning each design, planning for each design, trying to figure out each design before the event. If the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass had been around years ago, this would have saved me so much stress, and it would have given my career a fast track to where I am now. I can't wait to see the viral-worthy designs you create after learning all the designs in the floral installation course. Actually, I mentioned the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass a little too early. We'll talk about this at the end. This is not a course that is completed yet. It's something that we are working on. And again, let's stay focused here, and I'll jump into this right at the end, I promise. As we go on with the focus of today's session, I want you to keep this new phrase in mind. Plan it till you make it. When we have a plan in place, we have the confidence to sell these over-the-top designs. Let's get started. Let's jump into the simple strategy to incorporate installations into micro weddings. If I haven't said it already, I just want to pause and say micro weddings are not a trend. They are here to stay. This is something we are going to see for years to come. You know, in this social media driven society, it certainly has its ups and downs, and a huge up for our industry, the wedding industry, is the focus on creating beautiful spaces. The desire for beautiful spaces paired with the reduced guest counts of the micro weddings is a perfect storm for big, beautiful floral installations. So what is the strategy I use to help me to sell to these micro weddings? It's simple. Emotion. Micro weddings are more connected with their guests than large-scale weddings. Micro weddings have had to pare down that guest list, really being sure to only invite those people that are nearest and dearest to them to keep their numbers low. You know, I think for the time being that we're going to see very few of those weddings of 200, 300, 600 people, and we're going to see more of these small, intimate micro weddings, if you will. So when I'm using emotion, I want to do it in a way that really brings up those feelings that your client has, that your couple has for their guests. I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more detail as we go on, but I just want to pause and I want you to write down the word emotion. Emotion, E-M-O-T-I-O-N. Emotion is a method. Emotion is a strategy. Because your guests are so connected, because your couple is so connected with these guests, building an event for them that includes beautiful floral designs, florals that are growing from the ground, hanging from the ceiling, florals that just take over the space and create an environment. That is going to allow that couple and those guests to be together on this day, to celebrate, and not think about the rest of the world around them. That right there is a powerful emotion. Being able to truly be connected and not think about the chaos, not think about the struggles, not think about not to think about the pandemic for one day, for one afternoon. This is something I do in my consultations. I use this emotion to get the client excited about having this day that is designed solely for them and for their guests. Emotion comes into play with every description I have as I'm designing and presenting for the client. I think about how she's going to feel as she's standing there holding her bouquet with the sun streaming in from the window. I think about how he is going to feel as he's standing at the end of the aisle and he looks down and sees his bride. I think about how she's going to feel as she reaches out and holds her bride's hand for the first time. surrounded by thousands of beautiful flowers. I think about how the grooms kiss at that last moment before they walk down the aisle as husbands. I think about all these moments and I put them all into my design. I put them into the presentation because emotion is part of what's selling these micro weddings. Next up, we have techniques to excite your client about the designs you are dreaming of. I thought it would be helpful to actually share a bit of a role play conversation so you can get a feel for how I would handle my pitch to these clients to get them excited. I have a pretty organized strategy. First, of course, I'm going to draw in the audience, and I do that even before that client is there. That's part of what we already talked about with the social media presence, the website presence, the communicating behind the scenes so that clients can see what it is we do and all the undertakings that happens to get to that point. Then I'm going to get the client excited even before I meet that client. That means that I'm going to start via messaging on social media. I'm going to start email. I'm going to start during our pre-calls or our pre-Zooms. I want to make sure they know how excited I am about their wedding, and I want to let them give me all their excitement so we share in that like the best of friends. Then I want to make sure I am creative with the budget. This is when a client is on a tight budget or when a client is on an unlimited budget. Even those on an unlimited budget, they want to know that they're making savvy financial decisions. So I always focus on being creative with those dollars. Then I'm going to showcase their presentation during the meeting. Now, life is a little different now. Everything's done via Zoom. And quite frankly, I have learned that I prefer the Zoom meeting over the in-person meeting. I couldn't believe I would say that, but this whole new Zoom environment I've been in has been eye-opening. And finally, it's really important to express emotion. I know I've already mentioned this, but emotion is part of your selling. Emotion is how you connect them with the event you're describing. So you want to discuss how the event is going to make not only them feel and represent them, but how is it going to make their guests feel? How is that experience going to be different for those guests? Because your client, especially right now in the environment we're in, your client is very connected with that small number of guests that are going to be with them on wedding day. And it's not only priority to have a wedding that represents a couple, it's also priority to have a wedding that makes the guests feel like they are so important, so special. And floral installations are a great way to do that. Getting your client excited starts long before your design. It starts before your design presentation. It starts on those early calls, those initial inquiries. It starts usually with Zoom nowadays. Let me set the scene for you, and I'm going to describe for you how one of these inquiry calls go. The Zoom call starts promptly at 4 p.m. with 4 faces tuned in on 4 separate little screens. The call includes mom and dad, bride and groom, let's call them Rachel and Tyler, maid of honor, and of course me, their prospective wedding florist. We walk through the traditional pleasantries, keeping small talk to under 2 minutes in order to keep us on track. We review the couple's inspiration images, and the couple has shared lots and lots of details. As they're sharing the details, this is where I make subtle suggestions and I draw their attention to any floral installations that may be in their inspiration images, as well as making suggestions for additional installations that we could add to the inspiration images. I've also made sure to ask about the guests that will be attending. This part, honestly, is part of the conversation that can get a little long-winded, but please be patient. This information is really important. Once I get through, what I say next is the difference between designing an event with big, beautiful installations versus designing just another set of pretty bouquets, boutonnieres, and a few centerpieces. And my statement goes something like this. Oh, Rachel, Tyler, not only is your inspiration for your wedding beautiful, your connection for your family is equally as beautiful. I love the way you describe your guests. It is so clear how special these people are to you. This day is special not only for the two of you, but also for these guests who've chosen to join you. As the two of you were talking, I started to dream up a design that reflects both the style you shared with me in your inspiration and creates an environment for you and your guests that allows each individual to forget about the outside world and focus on you and the celebration that they have come for. This is a unique time in our lives, and creating this environment for your guests will be that unique experience that they will not get anywhere else. They are going to remember this experience, this time they shared with you, for the rest of their lives. So when I write up your design, I would love for you, I'm asking you, if you could give me a little bit of extra artistic license, as I've got a couple exciting ideas, a couple of exciting design ideas that are brewing in my head, and I want to share them with you. I want to present them to you when I give you the rest of your design. The statement that I've made during that initial Zoom consultation, it connects with that need for connection that we've all felt this year during this pandemic. It also prepares them for the expectation that I will be proposing something unexpected. This anticipation adds to the excitement, and these emotions together help get us that much closer to selling the big, beautiful floral installations that we have been dreaming of. I want you to be confident so that you can do this. I want you to be confident because you know that you are able to create these large-scale designs. It is completely okay to sell these designs before you know how to do it. If you don't already have the basics of understanding these designs, there are a variety of classes. In fact, right now, we are working on the Big Dreams Floral Installations Masters class. It's not available yet, but it's coming. During the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass, I am going to be sharing with you those techniques that I've been sharing during the sold-out floral installation workshops all across the United States. During this course, I'm going to teach those elements that I have taught to designers that have seen their floral budgets double and triple just from what I'm teaching in this workshop. So again, I've got more at the end, but I just want to encourage you. Don't pause from selling. Sell these dreams. I'm going to be here to teach you how to make these dreams into reality. Okay, so the number one way to attract clients that want these large-scale floral designs, this is the simplest of all the techniques that I use. It takes a bit of work, but I promise you it is simple, even though you gotta work for it. All right, I know that might not make much sense, but when I show you, you'll totally understand. It truly is easiest and the most natural to sell to a client that is already interested in big, beautiful floral installations. Because of this, I take the time to make sure all of my marketing is consistent with this goal. This means that I have to showcase floral installations everywhere, from my website and my advertising to my Instagram to my Pinterest and yes, even TikTok. I want to make sure that everywhere my clients may find me is a reminder that I not only have the ability, but I also have the desire to design large-scale floral designs. This doesn't mean that this is all I share, but it must be part of what I share, and it must be shared everywhere. This stands to be repeated. Installations need to be present on your social media, on your website, they need to be part of your brand, and they need to be everywhere. If you don't already have these large-scale installation designs in your portfolio, don't worry about it. I will teach that in the Floral Designs Masterclass down the road. Right now, just keep focusing on selling. That means your website. Your website has to have those large-scale installations in the visuals so the client sees them. Your social media, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, there's so many social medias now. Wherever your name is, wherever your presence is, installations need to be on that feed. Pinterest is an area that I have spent the least amount of time working on, yet this is one of the most powerful ways to connect with that wedding audience. I am not a Pinterest teacher by any means, but I will tell you that is one of those places that if you're going to be sharing your installations and this large-scale design work, it needs to be here as well. This topic right here, I feel like it's a hot topic every single day of my life. I'm going to give you my proven methods to build focused installation social media attention. Now, these two methods that I give you, I use over and over again. I use them repeatedly because they work. This is what has built my social media attention. And with these strategies, with these two methods I'm sharing with you, you start using them this week, you are going to see a difference. You are going to see the interactions rise right now. First, I want to see your behind the scenes. I don't just want to see the pretty and the perfect. I want to see how you got there. Show me some of those behind the scenes. Show me the work. Show me the joy that goes into it. Show your clients that you love every bit of the process. There should be no complaining at all on any social content. There should only be joy when it comes to the work that you do. You can show a client just how much work things are, and they often will understand a price much more when they see how much effort goes into it. And clients want to work with people that love what they're doing. That's just normal human nature. You'd rather be around someone who loves every minute of the job they're doing than someone you feel like you're having to pay to do a job that you didn't want to do. So sharing your behind the scenes helps not only with your growth on social, it's also going to help with the growth of your business. Now, when it comes to your growth in social, I hear a few people that they get worried that if they share these behind the scenes, it's going to show people how to do it and they're going to want to do it for themselves. I'm going to tell you right now, there may be a handful of people that want to do these large-scale floral installations themselves, but that is not the majority and it's not your client. So don't worry about those people. Just talk to those clients who are going to hire you, the clients who respect and love the work you're doing because you love the work you're doing. And then, of course, make sure you're sharing lots of finished images and lots of the beautiful work. You never want to share too much behind the scenes without that finesse of the beautiful finished designs. Okay, this one right here was game-changing for me. This happens to be a quick video clip from The Big Flower Fight on Netflix, episode 5. This is actually a behind-the-scenes shot, so this one came from my cell phone as opposed from the Netflix cameras. But the reason I have this one here is because it is a time lapse. It is a motion time lapse or hyperlapse video. This is game-changing in your social media strategy. Whenever I'm designing one of these installations, I set my phone up to do a time lapse. Whether that time lapse be part of the motion that's being created by the design, this particular design turned 360 degrees. Or it's a time lapse of the design being created from beginning to end. This method is powerful because it's twofold. One is it connects with people on a video element, which video is king in social media. Video is getting 10 times in some cases the amount of exposure that I see from photos. It's almost not even comparable. I see such a difference in video. So the method is going to connect with more individuals because it is on a video, and it connects with people that are really interested, excited about the design. In fact, it was designing a design similar to this that first got the attention of the casting directors for the big flower fight. Simply recording the work that I'm doing and sharing it. So first method I want you to take into consideration is sharing those behind the scenes and sharing them regularly. And then, of course, sharing your time lapses. And don't worry about being professional. Gone are the days of everything needing to be perfect on social. Now it's time to be real. If TikTok taught us anything, it is that real is what people want to see. This time together has gone by so quickly. I know that estimates are a challenge, so we're going to focus on how to give quick and accurate estimates. So often I hear that not knowing how to price is the #1 reason that designers are not selling these large-scale floral installations to their clients. I understand that this can seem overwhelming, and I started here because I wanted to take that overwhelming feeling away. You see, I have a secret weapon that makes estimates fast and accurate. I use Curate. This simple software has been game-changing in my business, especially when it comes to the amount of time I am spending researching and pricing. Curate is so simple to use that I can start with a pre-built installation skeleton. So for estimating, I use a simple formula that I preload directly into Curate, the floral software I'm using. Its program is available globally, and it makes the process of estimating and quoting prices, it makes it easier and allows you to do it with more confidence. Given that most clients are drawn to similar designs, I have a series of preset pricing that outlines the basic mechanics and tools that I'm going to need, as well as an estimated flower count. This way, I can go in, I have that skeleton there, and I can make quick adjustments. Once the skeleton is in place, making quick changes to the types of flowers is easy and fast. An average estimate once the skeleton is built takes me under 2 minutes. Because clients are often asking for similar designs, it is easy to keep your most popular images on the Curate software so that they can be added to your estimates to make them even more impactful. In order to make quick changes to the sizes in these floral skeletons that I have set up in software, I break down the pricing components into square feet. These designs are estimated by foot, which makes adjusting the estimate based on the size and the structure quick and easy. In fact, I use Curate for everything from estimates to invoices and even my prep and my worksheets. You can even accept payment from Curate and tie it all into your accounting and your inventory. This software has made the business side of my floral life so much easier. This here is a snapshot of one of the floral installation skeletons that I have in the system, and you can see it gives the designer who's working on it all of the count sheets, all of the flowers, and it gives pictures of those flowers, which really helps when you're pulling the product and you're getting yourself organized. One of my favorite parts of Curate is just how beautiful the software is. The polished presentation paired with the internal organization gives your business that professional polish that it really needs to connect with this audience, the audience that values beautiful things like these large-scale floral installs. So you've learned how I do my estimates so quick and simply. Now let's talk about how I break down the math in identifying what my counts are and what the price needs to be for the pieces. So this all starts with some basic flower math. So we have the cost of flowers, which is a standard. I do a standard 3 times markup. I know other people do 3.5 or 4 times, but I do the cost of the fresh flowers times 3, and that equals my fresh cost. Then I do the cost of supplies times 2, that equals my hard good cost. Then I'm going to add in my labor and construction time, and I calculate this at $45 an hour, and that is calculated based on the time required per square foot. That's right. I break it down to per square foot because I can't wrap my head around it as one entire piece. This really helps me. All right, I'm going to go through some kind of some technical stuff when it comes to math and how we're working these prices out. So again, your notebook is going to be really, really helpful right now. And I kind of like to think of this as high school math. You know those word problems that we thought, oh my gosh, why are these teachers making us do word problems? We're never going to use this. Guess what? I am a florist, a wedding florist at that, and I do math every single day. So let's get started with our huppah. Our huppah is an 8 by 8 square. This is one of the Shop Wild Things pipe and drape frames that we use for the huppah. It's my favorite base to use. And when I'm looking at design, so most of the time clients are going to send us a design, or I'll use a design as inspiration to help show my client and get my client excited. So I take that design and I'll zoom in, and then I add my ruler and I break it out to see how many units. So I know I have that 8 by 8. So essentially I'm going to do an 8 by 8 space. And I break it into individual spaces, that is 1 square foot spaces, that I then can do my math to build my entire design off of. Oh, this is so pretty. I can just keep looking at these colors all day long. All right, so we've got our math. We know we're going to do our 8 1-foot sections. Then we have to decide on our supplies. What kind of supplies do we want to use? Do we want to use chicken wire? Do you want to use cages? Do you want to use zip ties? That's going to be up to you based on what design you're going to do. During the floral installation masterclass, I'm going to get into the details on actually how this is all constructed. But for today, we're just focused on pricing. So for this, we're going to take our items and then map out how many of these items we're going to need for this size. So for this size, I'm probably going to use at least, if each of these uprights are 8 feet, I'm going to use at least 10 feet of chicken wire for each of those 8-foot uprights, and I have 4 uprights plus 4 crossbars, so that would be 10 times 8, that would be 80 feet of chicken wire I'm going to need. Does that all make sense? If you have any questions, we can definitely circle back with that. From there, I want to identify how many sides I want to cover. So I just said, I'm going to use 80 feet of chicken wire. However, if I'm not going to cover all of my spaces, then I don't necessarily need to have 80 feet. And this is going to depend, this is going to depend on your design style, and it's also going to depend on, of course, budget. So a lot of times I will start when I'm quoting a client covering all of the spaces and then make adjustments as needed. Once you get your supplies down, then we're going to look at our flowers and how many flowers we're going to need. So I will decide which main supply I'm going to use, whether I'm using chicken wire, I'm using a cage, or I'm using Oasis that is wrapped. Whatever I want to use, I want to make sure I identify how many flowers I'm going to use in each single item. So I know how tall and how wide this is going to be. I've identified how many of the cages I want in that space, and then I'm going to take that one individual cage and I'm going to decide how many flowers I want in that cage. Now, I've been doing this for years and years, so I know off the top of my head how many I want in roses, how many I want in stock, how many I want in hydrangea. But in the beginning, that may not be as easy. So I'm going to give you the trick that I use in the beginning to figure this out. It is so basic. And if you've already watched the flower wall video, you'll see this in even more detail. All right, you ready? This is a very basic sketch. So I usually do this on a piece of paper or a piece of foam core, and I draw. They look like little fish, but they represent stock here, I promise. And I just start to draw, and I draw until I've covered my space. I continue to add my little fishes, my little stock, and I'm not going to cover it all for you today, but I just want to give you an example of this is how I identify how many flowers I'm going to want in that space. And what I do once I'm done drawing is I just count up my little stock shapes to identify how many I want in each piece. Once I get that done, And this sounds like a lot, but it really happens really easy. Once you know the beginning and you're working in a software, it flies by like so quick. So once I've identified how many pieces I want in each of those individual cages that I just showed you, then I'm going to enter my recipe here. So you see I break my recipes out. So I've got a recipe from my fern truss items, which for this design was my painted items. I have a recipe for my hard goods. I have a recipe for my roses and peony, for my orchids, for my stock, and so on. And the reason I have multiple recipes, I don't always do this, but with a larger build, multiple recipes really help me to delegate when I've got freelance help. Because remember, this is a big project. We're going to need some extra hands. And in this case, you see I have the recipes for the roses and the peony. We have 18 raquettes I'm going to be using for that. So the items I have here, the items I'm ordering, excuse me, the items below that, if you look below where the arrow is, where it says Garden Rose Juliet, 3 items at this price point, that is the markup price point, of course, the ×3 price point. So that is going to tell me how many of those items I'm going to order. Now, all I have to do is identify how many of those flowers I want per raquette. And then because I've identified at the top where the arrow is pointing that I'm going to have 18 raquettes, the system is like magic. It's automatically going to do the math of this count times 18. Now, there's a reason on this design that I didn't do it all one flower, and that is because I did a color blocking design for this particular huppah. And with this color blocking, I know that I'm going to have one raquette is going to be all garden roses, one's going to be all peony, and one's going to be all psychedelic roses. But I still entered my order like this into Curate just because it makes it easier for me to think through very quickly, and it makes my ordering easier. So I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to my stock. I'm going to list out the stock I have and how many I want there. And then I'm also going to calculate my staff hours in the software as well. Now the staff hours I calculate a per hour, again, broken down by square foot. Calculate the staffing and the cost of that staffing. It's also really important for your overall estimate. I price my staffing again per square foot. I really truly cannot think of the entire job. I know I've said that before, but I can't think of the entire job all as a whole. I have to break it down in little bite-sized pieces. So in this case, I have 64 feet total I want to cover. I've given an estimate that'll take me approximately 30 minutes per foot to complete this. Now that's wrapped up in the soaking time, the attaching my cages, the designing the flowers onto the cages, moving them to the place. So that's 30 minutes per foot that I want to allocate. And then of course I'm going to multiply that times 64 feet to let me know how many hours I anticipate this taking me to complete. Then I'm going to divide the total hours by the number of hours for the build in the venue that I am designing this for. Now, designs like this, they do take more than 2 hours. Like, no matter how many staff you have, it takes more than 2 hours. Well, not necessarily. You could do it in 2 hours, but I know a lot of our venues are very tight on on being allowed in. When I do have a tight venue, oftentimes we have to scale back, or that client has to rent additional time. So I take those hours, I divide them by the amount of hours that I have available to work, and then I usually beef it up a little bit and add a couple extra people if I can. I also make sure that when I'm adding into my pricing that I go ahead and factor in at least 15 minutes per square foot for prep time. This to me is everything from the time that goes into me conceptualizing it, selling it, writing my count sheets, printing my orders for my freelancers to work with, double checking and spot checking roses, all those extra things. I calculate 15 minutes per square foot just for that. During the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass, I will break down into more detail how you actually build and construct these pieces. But of course, as I've said over and over again, long before you are going to bring these designs to life, long before you're going to build them, you're going to make them, you need to learn to sell them. You need to be able to sell these pieces. That is the most important part so that you can create these big over-the-top designs. Now, I promised you a bonus, and I've got it for you right now. The Dream Big Floral Installation Masterclass is in production right now, and I am giving you a sneak peek and early access to this floral workshop that has changed the businesses of so many. I am teaching the same elements that I shared during the live in-person floral installation workshops. This is the same information that has taken designers to double and triple their floral budgets. Now, I say it's all the same, only it's better. It's like we take 2 and 3 of these in-person workshops and put them all together. Designers like these 3 here have inspired so many as they've taken the teachings from the Floral Installation Masterclass and they've brought it to their business in a way that has them growing and building their budgets by 2 and 3 times. This designer right here, Michelle from Your Signature Designs out of the Charleston, South Carolina area, she has built 2 and 3 time increases on her floral budgets using the elements that I'm teaching in this virtual course. Then there is Erin with Florally Ever After out of the Los Angeles area. Again, building 2 and 3 times floral budgets from following the teachings that I'm sharing in the course. All right, then there's Mariella. Mariella's out of the Houston, Texas area, and oh my, has she done some incredible things. She not only has found new opportunities, but has also increased her budget, and this happens consistently. Mariella, Michelle, and Erin are definitely incredible examples, but they are not unique. They're just like you, and they came to this workshop ready to absorb and soak everything in, ready to build their business. That's the difference with Intrigue events. The designers that participate in the Intrigue classes and workshops and online tutorials, they're here because they are driven. They're here because they're ready to make a change. And that's what these 3 ladies right here have done. Let me ask you a question. Are you ready for your business to change? Are you ready to take the leap and see your business level up with just one big, beautiful floral installation? I know you're ready. I can feel it. You're still here with me because you are so ready to take on these big, beautiful designs. What I am doing with the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass is taking all of the fun and the excitement of the in-person workshops that have sold out over and over again and moved it to an online format. Sharing my techniques in an easy to follow and entertaining format, making applying these skills to your next wedding season simple and a lot of fun. So if you are interested in learning more about these techniques that have doubled and tripled floral budgets, then hang on with me. If you are not interested, then now's a good time to log off because that's what we're going to chat about for a bit. Oh my gosh, it is so exciting to read the DMs. They are popping. I love to see all this enthusiasm to grow your business. This has been more than a challenging season for our industry. And the fact that you are still here with me right now tells me that you are one of the strong ones, one of the designers who will not allow failure to beat you down. You are starting your next wedding season with newfound momentum and a plan in place to level up your business one installation at a time. I've packed so much into this virtual masterclass. It is like attending 3 of our in-person workshops. During the course, we are going to take our time and walk through these elements over the course of 10 weeks. We're going to start with ceiling installations, talking about safety and style for the most visual impact. We're going to discuss floral chandeliers, easy designs for quick installation. Believe it or not, floral installations, they can be simple, and floral chandeliers are one of my favorites for quick and easy. Hoopas and mandaps. We'll discuss balance to make sure they stay up, of course, and structural integrity for these large-scale designs. And of course, visual impact always. We'll discuss backdrops like photo walls, photo stations, floral walls, focal areas, those elements that really make the event just pop. We'll even get into arches and mantles for those romantic ceremony designs. You know, it used to be a wedding arch was a very simple, standard white arch with some flowers, but those days have changed. Oh, staircases. I get more questions about staircases than anything else. We will discuss luxurious layering to create those dramatic displays. Then we're going to jump into equipment, use and sourcing of the equipment in particular. We'll talk about items like ladders and the lifts, specifically the scissor lifts that I use so often. We'll talk about scaffolding and all the other tools of the trade. Not only am I going to share with you where to source these, where to get these items, but I'm also going to teach you how to utilize them and use them safely. Then we're going to talk recipe building and wholesale ordering. Writing count sheets and communicating with your suppliers, that can be a nightmare if you don't know the process. Also, recipe building is very important to make sure you're profitable. So we'll get into this. We'll do a deep dive into how to build the recipes out, what counts you're going to need for each of these specific designs, and where you're going to get the product. And then pricing. I'm sharing with you how I price these large-scale designs to guarantee profit for my business. Now, every business is a little bit different, but when it comes to pricing, it's very important that you at least start with a baseline and build yourself off of that baseline. And then marketing. You know, today we talked about selling, but marketing is a big part of these floral installations. I'm going to share with you my techniques for turning installations into new clients. It's like built-in marketing, and ooh, I can't wait to share my secrets. I do love marketing. This 10-week floral installation masterclass is going to be available on January the 15th. You have early access right now. The 10-week installation masterclass is priced the same price as attending one in-person floral installation in-person class. That's not all though. I said I had a bonus and I meant bonus. In addition to having early access to the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass at the same price as a 2-day class, you are going to have more. I'm also going to add the Big Bouquet Bundle, and that is instant access. You are going to get this bundle of big, giant, beautiful bouquets that have that true intrigue style. Nothing goes better with a big, beautiful floral installation than an equally impressive bouquet. In this bundle, you are going to get the Euro holder techniques. That is techniques using my favorite bouquet for those really big, lush bouquets. You're also going to get the chicken wire method. For this, you want to learn to use that timeless floral tool to create dynamic, elongated bouquets. You know those big bouquets with just lots of power and stems? That's the ones I do in chicken wire. And then there's the freestyle bouquet. Using a traditional spiral method, I create Intrigue's elongated signature look with absolutely no internal structure. This one is actually the easiest method for me to use. You can do it quick and easy, and it's really great when you've got forage materials. And then there is the classic. Classic cascading bouquet using the most traditional of tools, your grande bell holder. By signing up right now, you are also going to get access to the Big Dreams Access Pass. This is a private group with direct access to me during the 10-week course. It's a $1,000 value, and honestly, I think it's priceless. Imagine the luxury of taking the course for your favorite floral installation during this 10-week session, and then being able to instantly ask me follow-up questions just like you were with me in person. That's actually the priceless part. The success of this course is your success, and those of you in this group, you will have my direct attention for the entire 10-week program. Not only that, you're also going to get instant access to this group as soon as you register. And again, remember, you've got to get signed up in the next 30 minutes to get these bonuses. I'm going to include a staffing for wedding designers tutorial. With this wealth of new skills and your new marketing reach that you will have, you're going to need some additional staff. to make this easier, I am including the Staffing for Wedding Designers tutorial, which addresses finding staff as well as properly following IRS guidelines and keeping a happy staff. Because I don't know about you, but turnover during busy season is not cool. So it's good to focus on how to find those great freelancers, and it's also good to figure out how to keep them as happy employees and freelancers. And again, you're going to have instant access to this. You do not have to wait until January the 15th. You will have instant access. And as a special treat, one of the things that designers like so much is coming to an Intrigue workshop and getting one of our signature aprons. So just like at our in-person workshops, you will receive our signature apron shipped directly to you. The aprons are stylish, durable, and they come in handy on design day. It is actually Jordan's personal favorite. We'll be boxing them up with lots of love and shipping them off to you so you can have your aprons in hand when you're learning during this 10-week course. Athletes have their signed jerseys. Not us, we are flower people. So we are going to be signing your aprons. What's really fun is that these aprons for our Intrigue workshops, they come in a series of colors. So you're going to get a surprise when you open that box that we ship to you to see what color we have chosen for you. And Jordan and I have taken the time to sign your apron just for you. So the color will be a surprise and you'll get our autographs right in your hand. You are going to get all of this. Early access to Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass at $2,997. Access to the Big Dreams private group valued at $1,000. The Big Bouquet bundle for Intrigue style bouquets at $300. Staffing for wedding designers at $75. And that signature Intrigue apron with Jordan and I's signature, a total value of $4,441. And if you sign up in the next 30 minutes, you are getting all of this for $1,497. That is half of what it would cost to attend one 2-day floral installation workshop. And we're including all of this, but only for the next 30 minutes. Imagine spending 2 days with Intrigue. Then imagine 10 glorious weeks learning the expert designs and the tricks and tips that make life as a designer more joyful and, well, a whole lot easier. You are going to get those same strategies that have increased the floral budgets of these designers and so many more by 2 and 3 times. You're going to get instant access to that Big Bouquet bundle. That's going to have your euro holder, which is going to teach you how to do these bouquets that have this elongated form. It's going to teach you the chicken wire technique that I use so often. It will teach you a freestyle technique which has no internal structure, really easy to use, very similar to methods you may be using right now with just a little tweak. And you're going to get that classic cascading bouquet using a very traditional tool. You're going to get access to the Big Dreams Access Pass, this private group that has direct access to me during the 10-week course. That is 10 weeks where you will be able to ask me direct questions as it relates to these floral installations. That's like being in a class with me for 10 whole weeks. I can't imagine anything that's going to be easier to answer your questions and get you the information you need than having this access pass. And of course, that apron. All of this. The early access at $2,997, the private group at $1,000, the Big Bouquet bundle at $300, the staffing for wedding designers at $75, and the signature Intrigue workshop at $55. Again, that is a total of $4,441 that if you register in the next 30 minutes, you are going to get for $1,497. That is the magic of this virtual masterclass. You know, if all this course did was to help you book one big, beautiful floral installation, wouldn't it be worth it? If all this course did was give you the confidence that lets you work smarter and earn more, wouldn't it be worth it? There are two things that I love about my business: making money to give my family an amazing life and enjoying the job that I do. This joy makes me a better mother, a better wife, and a better employer. So, if all this course did was add income and joy to your business, wouldn't it be worth it? You have just 30 minutes to get all of this: the masterclass, the private group access, the bouquet bundle, the staffing tutorial, and the apron, a $4,441 value at just half the price of attending one in-person workshop. That's $1,497. That's it. If all these strategies did was only add $2,000 to your floral budgets for just 10 of your weddings next season, this would increase your revenue by $20,000. This course and this private group access is worth every penny. And during this webinar, I'm offering it to you at $1,497. Imagine how your business is going to look when you're investing to build these bigger pieces, to learn how to design these over-the-top pieces, and adding those budgets to your wedding. I'm hearing your questions, and I want to go through and give you some quick answers. Are you hesitating because you've done online courses before and they just didn't work for you and you want to know how this is different? Well, when it comes to teaching workshops, I am known for having some of the most entertaining, inspiring, and educational workshops where I pair both the enchantment of being part of the wedding industry and the in-depth knowledge to teach the elements that we need for success, pairing the two of those together. So, if you haven't learned from me online before, then, well, that's the difference. I'm a horse of a different color, I guess. Are you hesitating because you're a new floral business and you just don't know if what I'm going to be teaching will apply to you because they are large-scale, over-the-top designs? Well, let me set your mind at ease. The teachings that I share are designed for the beginner to intermediate designer. If you've been doing this for 20, 30 years, you know all about design, this is not the course for you. This is a course for the individual who is ready for their businesses to blow up, ready for their businesses to take off, and wants to learn those designs that'll really get the attention of the public. Are you concerned that there are no luxury brides in your market and wondering how it's going to work if you don't have luxury brides? Well, let me set your mind at ease again. You do not need luxury clients in your market to sell these pieces. And I'm going to share with you my marketing to get these sold and to get that attention. Forget about what's in your market. Are you concerned that COVID has taken a hit on your business and you're concerned that you can't afford this? Well, I got to tell you, COVID has taken a hit from all of us. And what I am sharing with you here, this is your next step. This is your step to take that COVID-induced income that you had this year and build it for next year. Build it for your next wedding season so that you can come back stronger than ever before. These installations, this is what is going to get the attention of the public, get the attention of the couples or the brides and the grooms. It's what is going to build your business in this new micro wedding world. Are you wondering how you're going to afford the course if you're not even booking weddings even close to the size of one of these installations? I also want to put your mind at ease here. If you are not booking weddings that want designs like this, you need to be here. You need to be in this class. You need to be part of this 10-week course, because I'm going to share with you the techniques I use and the techniques I used even before I was on Netflix to get the attention of the public, to get the attention of the people who want these designs. Not only am I going to share with you how to build the designs, I'm going to share with you how to market the designs and how to price your designs. The clock is ticking. At this point, you have less than 30 minutes to get the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass, the private access group, the Big Bouquet bundle, the staffing for wedding designers, and the apron. A total value of $4,441 that I'm not going to charge you. You are only going to pay $1,497. That is it. That is half the price of a one-day in-person workshop. But you have to do it right now. You've got less than 30 minutes, so get your registration in. Did you know that PayPal has a finance program? It is subject to approval and it's only available in the US. This isn't for everyone, but it can be helpful as you can purchase now and you will not have to pay for 6 months with 0% interest. That's like borrowing free money. That means you can implement all of these strategies and start increasing your luxury wedding sales business before having to pay for this program. No payments and no interest for 6 months. You will get access to all of this instantly, with the exception of the master course, which starts on January 15th. And you can use these teachings to increase your sales by $10,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, even before you've ever had to make a payment. And you're not paying any interest during that first 6 months. So you can implement and start making money with these strategies now. If you know that your business needs this and coming up with the money is a challenge, PayPal is there for you. I am so grateful for this opportunity that PayPal has provided. Once you're approved for your PayPal financing, you can go directly to the link and you can check out using PayPal. The money will be there for you. It is such an easy way to set up a payment plan, a payment structure for this type of course. I have been asked a couple times why I'm sharing all of this information. Why am I giving away my secrets? The answer is simple. It is that it isn't about me, it's about you. It's about changing the quality of your life. I already know these strategies, and I already make a comfortable living. I will continue to have a great life. And sharing these strategies with you, they are not going to take away from what I know. So that's why I'm sharing. I want you to have the joy and the excitement of being a wedding designer like I do. And of course, I want you to be making a darn good living doing what you absolutely love. So let's go through it again. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get the Big Dreams 10-week master course. You're getting the private access group with access to me. You're getting the bouquet bundle. You're getting the staffing for wedding designers, and you're getting that apron, a $4,441 value that you are only paying $1,497. This will be paid for in one beautiful floral installation. But the time is almost up. We're almost at the end of that 30 minutes. While we're wrapping up the time, I want to pause for a minute and say thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Ball, who is an incredible floral breeder and is at the forefront of identifying the flowers that help us do the designs that we do so well. I want to say thank you to Shop Wild Things. They are the creators and the importers of some of the most beautiful large-scale structural pieces. The hoopas, the mandaps, the chandeliers, the crystal curtains, the fringe curtains, the pipe and drape, all of it. Shop Wild Things is my go-to. And then, of course, there's Fern Trust. Fern Trust has greens beyond greens. You can get everything from your smilax to your ferns to your Italian pittosporum. You can get it all there. Not only that, they paint like nobody's business. You want to know where I get these big, beautiful, colorful painted greens? Well, Fern Trust is my secret. And finally, I have to thank Curate. Curate is an incredible company. They offer this software application that not only is it easy to use, but it makes us have a more professional presence for our clients. I couldn't operate my business without Curate support. All right, I see your hand hovering there. I know you're getting ready to register, but time is ticking and we are almost done. This is going to go away. These bonuses are going to go away tonight. This is so exciting. I am thrilled to have you part of this incredible 10-week course. This is the most comprehensive course that I have ever offered. And oh my gosh, we are like down to the seconds at this point. Like all great things, not everything lasts forever. And just like that, the time is up. We've hit our 30-minute mark. I do know, I don't want you to get stressed out. I know it can take a few minutes to complete the registration process, and you may still be in your PayPal financing working that out. Time is definitely up, but I'm going to leave this screen here for a couple minutes just so you can finish a checkout process. Do not freak out. This is not going to close down in the middle. I know that can drive you crazy when you've just filled a form out and then the whole thing crashes. So I'm going to leave it up for just a couple minutes so you can get that finished. If you missed this, if you missed your opportunity to get these incredible bonuses, then they're gone forever. You're not going to get these bonuses again. We will have the opportunity for you to purchase the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass when it officially launches, but you will not have these same bonuses when it launches. So again, I've got this up for just a couple more minutes so you can finish out your registration process so you can get this at your $1,497 price for this 10-week course. That this is half the price if you just came to be with me for 2 days, and I'm giving you 10 weeks plus all of these bonuses and that private group that is only for you that has purchased this particular course so that we can talk about the things taught in this particular course. This is not a group that is going to discuss everything. It's going to be focused on the floral installations that we're teaching in these lessons over this 10-week time frame. All right, so again, I'm just going to leave this up here. I'm going to stop talking so that you can focus and you can get finished, but I'll leave this up just a few minutes. So wrap up your registration and make sure you get in on this. The truth is, it's hard for me not to say anything when I'm this excited. So rather than try to be silent, I'm going to give you a little bit of a musical interlude as you finish up that registration. All right, that's what I can give you. That is the time. This is a wrap. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Ball. I want to say thank you to Shop Wild Things. Thank you to Fern Trust. Thank you to JetFresh. And thank you to Curate for making this opportunity possible. For getting to the point where you can take this opportunity to build your business, to build your floral installations, and take that business to the next level. Thank you to these sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't be happening. You wouldn't have this course coming your way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to you for trusting me to help you to change your business. One big, beautiful floral installation at a time.